Welcome to Supplier Spot Spotlight, the podcast where we shine a light on the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Join us as we chat with suppliers, park owners, and staff, uncovering insights, strategies, and stories that will elevate your outdoor experience. Get ready for inspiration and innovation in every episode.
Hey there, Bobby Sorton back again with Suppliers Spotlight Vodcast. I got the next coolest guy, I think, in the whole wide world right here, Nick Gramstad. He's with Staylist. Nick, hey, thanks for being on with me. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Bobby. Thanks for inviting me on. I'll take the mantle as next coolest person, but I'm pretty sure you've said that to other people, but I'll just ignore that for now.
No. I say it to everyone. No, I just say it to you only. So
Yeah, sure.
No.
Sure.
You know,
I've never looked at any other videos.
Yeah, right. Don't watch the other ones because then you catch me in something. No, it's good having you on, Nick. Man, it's hard to believe. It's almost been 3 years, I think, since we first met. When I worked for a previous software company, and you worked for a competitor of that software company, and I think we just hit it off right from the get gate. Is that right? Is that even a word? Right from the get go.
We'll start it.
We'll start from the get right out of the gate of the get go is what I was trying to say.
There we go.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. No, it was great to meet you. And I think just right off the bat, we hit it off. You, me, and I think, Blake Burris, of course, got to give him a plug out there. We just have the same type of personality, and we always enjoyed going to all those conferences together and hanging out and, chit chatting. And we never really even talked about the software companies we worked for. We just learned about each other's families and friendships and everything we've done in life. So it's cool to have you on here after 3 years now. And here you are with Staylist. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. So thanks for bringing me on. And like you said, it just, we just really meshed really well. And, we saw each other so often at all of those shows that, it wasn't a us versus them type of mentality. Like, just having a good time. We're going to be in contact no matter what. So let's enjoy it. And thankfully you were a nice enough guy, and I didn't mind spending time with you.
Well, hope so. I mean, the year's not over yet, right? So
That's true. It could change. You got a month and a half, buddy. We'll see how it goes.
I know, right? It's funny. I always tell the story to people about when I was working for that previous software company where we were at Waco. It was the end of the trade show. We went to the little bar area, and they had that big, long board type table. And I remember we all sat down at that table, and there was like 5 different software companies all at one table, just having drinks, talking, laughing. And people would walk in, and they're like, whoa, every software company is sitting at the same table. And I'm like, we're just friends here. We're not here to, bash each other. So I always have that fun story to talk about that, where we make that in this industry a fun environment where it doesn't have to be this butting heads and I can't talk to the enemy type thing. So
yeah, exactly. It was cool. And I do also specifically remember that night because you took my phone, and I have multiple pictures that you took.
I wouldn't do that.
That wasn't me. So, that's a great memory. I'm glad you brought it up. But yeah, it's a memory that I look back fondly on.
I think it's always funny, maybe, and it's just me, is, of course, the iPhone, all you do is tap the camera, where people just take all those little quick selfies, if you don't know about it. And then, the next day or something, you're looking like, whoa, where'd these come from? And they're great pictures. So it's always fun to make those memories. Well, cool. Well, let's get talking here. I'm excited that you're with Staylist now. I know this happened within the last couple months. So happy for you. Just saw you out at Ojai, and we had got the chance to talk out there. So first, though, before we get started with Staylist, we were talking a little bit about Supplier Spot. And from your perspective, what do you think about Supplier Spot? I've been working on this for almost a year now, and really trying to get it to make it a website that people are going to utilize. So I'd just like to get your opinion. What do you think about it?
Oh, I remember when you first came to me with the idea, and I just thought it was great right off the bat. Mm-hmm. There's so much information out there for RV parks, whether they're existing or they're new, but it's not in a centralized location. So I think what you did is you took all of this information and really this industry is so helpful and knowledgeable, and they're willing to help, but there wasn't a platform that brought everything all together. So the fact that you've been able to kind of create this site and this platform for all of us to go in and play together and, just basically have a virtual conference online is, it's such a great idea. And it's I've seen it go just leaps and bounds now since you've launched it, and congratulations, and
Yeah, thanks.
great idea. I love it. I think it's great. It's
Thanks.
fantastic.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm working hard on it. Being a sole person doing it, it takes a lot more time than if I had a team of people, but yeah,
Sure.
that's my goal. And I like how you said, a virtual conference. And of course, I will never try to take away from going to conferences and expos for one,
Mhm.
because that's one of my favorite times of the year is going to these expos and, and traveling a lot. My wife's always like, wow, you're traveling a lot. I'm like, well, I'm getting out there. I said, but I'm making relationships. I'm making connections, and, it's just a lot of fun to get out there and be face to face with these people. And my thought process about it was when RV park owners or operators or staff came to these shows, a lot of times they would forget, who they talked to at the show. And yes, they could always go to that association's website to see who was there, but Supplier Spot, they go, oh, I'll just go to Supplier Spot and type in software and see who comes up and see if one of them are there.
Mhm.
So that's my goal too, is just help support the association, whether it's state or nationals. Help support them, because I even have the associations on here as categories as well. So if
Yep.
there's park owners like in New York that are saying, hey, is there a New York association? Let me go check it out. So yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm happy for
Yeah,
it.
for sure. And I really like the conference page that you have. So
Yeah,
now people are just kind of dipping their toes in, but they're like, oh man, I wish I could talk to these people. Like, how do I reach out? They go to that conferences page
yeah,
and they're like, oh, actually, there's a show near me in 3 months, 4 months. Like, that's just another reason for them to be like, oh, I should sign up for that. I should go attend it. So, like you said, you're certainly never going to take away from that conference approach or that feel from it.
yeah.
But at least it's all there, and it's great for people that are new to the industry, especially.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That came from an idea actually from another supplier that I was interviewing or talking to or doing a show with, where it gave me that idea. And that's what I love about going to these conferences and talking about Supplier Spot, because people will give me suggestions and feedbacks that I would never thought of. But yeah, like
Yeah.
you said, Camp X is going on right now, so people can actually come to the conferences page right here on supplierspot.com and click on the Canadian Camping and RV Association. It takes it right to their landing page, has all the information and where it is, and then they can actually just click add to calendar. And depending if you have Google or iCalendar or Office Outlook, you can add it right to your calendar. It gives you a little information down here, or if you click the link more information, it'll actually pop you over to their website where you can actually register and get more information. So again, my goal is to try to support everything that's happening in this industry the best I can. So I'm glad you brought that up. So
Yeah, and I think it's great just because there is so much going on and there just wasn't a centralized spot for it. So
yeah.
now that everything's kind of in that one stop shop, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's talk now about Staylist, man. This is so exciting. I know what software company you used to work for. So really, I was surprised when I heard about it, but I am excited for you. So yeah, let's talk about Staylist. When did you get over there, and a little bit of history about Staylist, and let's go from there.
Yeah, for sure. One, I appreciate it. It was so I've been here now for a couple months. I am in the sales director role. So, like you had mentioned, I worked at a competitor previously to that. So I've been in the industry now for about 3 years going on. So been around a little bit, made a lot of connections. But what really drew me to Staylist is where they're at as a company, and we're still, like, our owner is still our CEO.
Mhm.
Jeff is still heavily involved in the development, the product timeline, the product map, and he just really has a lot of really cool ideas, and that really drew me in, and intrigued me about the company. And then you meet the rest of the team, and they're doing a really good job of building out the culture. And I hope we can continue that with
Yeah.
me here in a director role. But where they started out was back in 2015. Jeff's from Knoxville area, and there's a lot of really cool destination parks down in the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. So he saw kind of a gap in the market, that they were putting together, good PMSs, but not really a good fit for the ones down there. So he designed his own.
Okay.
And really, up until maybe a couple of years ago, that was just kind of his bread and butter, is just word of mouth, organic growth. Um, and he's built a really solid platform. The team of developers that we have really added a lot of the functionality that we need to now really make a concentrated push and grow on a sales based approach. So actually, going out there and calling the parks, attending these shows, and getting our name out there. But we do have a lot of really cool things coming up in the next 3, 4, 5 months. So a lot of it's going to be generated around our AI abilities. So we're going to be doing a software called Call Track. So if anybody's familiar, I think CallRail is a similar product. So you're going to be able to call transcripts. You're going to be able to assign market what ads are working based off the number that they're reaching you at, conversion rates, talk time. You're even going to be able to get pretty granular on the talk track of specific agents to see what's working, what's not working, and look at your staff's performance and manage that staff accordingly. And then, a little bit further down the road on the call track, we will have AI reservation agents that we were demoing at Ojai. So that's coming down the line as well. And that's just going to simply be an add-on feature. You don't have to switch it on to necessarily be taking reservations. We're not trying to, eliminate that personal feel that a lot of campgrounds lean into because that's such a big part of our industry. But it's an option, especially for after hours, weekends, where maybe you're not fully staffed or you don't have anybody on there. Maybe not even just taking reservations, just answering general questions like, what are your hours? Do you have a pool? Do you have a restaurant? So all of that's going to be able to take a look at your website. You're going to be able to build your own little knowledge base that it's learning and continually optimizing itself to better suit your needs. But those are all things that Jeff is working on, and I see our pictures aren't working, so we'll take that.
I thought he just didn't want his picture on there. That was my suggestion. That was my first thought.
But so a lot of really cool things, and those are all things that I talked to Jeff about when I was, in the process of interviewing, and the things that got me really excited because it just seems like over the next year or two, we're going to have some really cutting edge technology being built right into our platform, which is really cool, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of that last section of the hospitality industry that has gone through this technology revolution, and it's exciting to be a part of, right? It's exciting to see that growth and those changes year on year. And I feel like even from when I started to where we're at now, just the adoption and utilization of all of these different tools is exciting. And I think the industry as a whole, the owners and operators are seeing it as nothing but a net positive. So I'm excited.
Yeah, sounds like it, man. Sounds like got a lot of cool stuff going on. And that's what I really like too about companies like Staylist is, like you already mentioned it, Jeff is the founder. He is the developer, or was the developer, and he is still the CEO. And, I've had a few conversations with him before, and he just is like really down to earth type guy, really, bread and butter type thing. And that's what I liked about the previous software company I worked for too, is the actual person who created it as the software developer was still working there. So it was nice to always pick his brain because it was his baby, And so that's what I think is really cool about Staylist is, there's still very few out there that are like that. A lot of them are going more corporatized, or they're getting purchased or, acquired. So that's what I really like about it is that, all the people that you have working over Staylist, I know most of them, and they're just really awesome people. And, for all those park owners out there, it's always nice to have a good staff to work with, knowing that, you can pick up the phone and call you or anybody on your staff, and they're going to be readily available to help them if something was going wrong with the software. So.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, we're one of the last, if there's maybe a couple of us that the founder is still the owner and CEO.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, that's just the nature of business. So it's certainly not a knock on any of the other softwares out there, but
no, not at all.
It's just it's a really good tool for us, because if I have questions, I go directly to the owner and he's going to give me a yes or no. Like it's just really easy. And he's super accessible. And like you said, just a really nice guy.
Yeah, and I think what's helpful too is whenever you need something updated or a new feature quickly done, when you're still the owner, operator, CEO, things can happen a lot faster than going through, a whole ticketing process or something from those larger corporations. That's just in my experience alone. It's
Yeah.
nice to say, hey, can we fix this real quick? And somebody jumps into the code and fixes it.
Yeah.
That's what I really appreciate about those types of companies. And I
Yeah. And
think
with
park
his
owners with,
history,
yeah,
he's a full stack dev. So
yeah,
I mean, that call track, he whipped it out one weekend. He's just like,
yes,
yeah, it took 30 hours and built it. I'm like, cool. That's
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome, that they can do that real quick, and that's really cool. Like the previous, and like I said, I'm not bashing any other software out there, but I know the previous one I worked with, whenever the parent company acquired them, it takes a little bit longer of a process to get things accomplished, which technically isn't really a bad thing, but it's nice whenever you work for a company that can do it a little bit quicker, especially if a park owner is really needing something done quickly. So,
Yep,
it's
exactly.
nice.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. I see that you got a lot of modules here. So, and I know we won't get into like pricing or anything like that, but I know a lot of times your prices depend on like a flat rate, and then you can add on modules and things of that nature based on how you want to scale your park. Is that how everything works with Staylist still?
Actually, no. So our everything that you see on our website is built into the package,
Okay.
and we charge just off of online reservations.
Oh, okay.
We take a percentage of online reservations,
Well, I was
direct
completely wrong
bookings.
on that then.
Yeah, so we don't have to add any modules or integrations. Everything's built right into the system, and then you're covered with that online booking fee. So, you know, it's a really competitively priced product, especially with the functionality that we offer, and that's the way we like to operate. It's not a lot of gray area on what you're getting charged and what you're not getting charged. It's pretty straightforward and really simple.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought you guys had a monthly fee rate, but I confused you with probably some other ones out there. So, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
When
everybody
you
has a different pricing model, but we've kept ours very clean, very simple, very easy to understand.
Great. So basically, wouldn't cost me anything to sign up. You would just get me on board, and if I was a park owner, get me on
Yep,
board. And once I started collecting reservations through your software, that's where you pull your percentage out.
correct. And we do
Cool.
have an implementation fee, and if you need a map, we can create a map at an
Yeah,
additional fee.
great.
Um, but it works really well for seasonal campgrounds as well. So during their off season, during the winter, if they're not making reservations, they're not paying for the software,
Yeah.
which is a lot easier to budget
Mhm.
because if you look at some of those northern properties, they maybe get 7 months
Yeah.
operationally.
Mhm.
So if they're not having to budget 5 months of a software that they're not technically using, that's great.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's super competitively priced, and especially with the functionality we get. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
that's
a
awesome.
full built-in point of sale system.
So
Works
it is
for
built in. You do you do
Yep.
third party at all, or is
So
it?
we don't have any third-party integrations. It's something that we're almost always continually looking at, and
Yeah.
it's do we continue the development on our own point of sale, or do we offer an integration and weighing out the lift on each side and what
Mhm.
that's going to entail for our dev team. But for 90 to 95% of the RV parks, that point of sale is going to be more than what they need.
Yeah.
It's built out really, really well.
Yeah. That was my experience too with the previous company I was with is if you just have a general store or snack shack or something like that, it works out perfect. I know a lot of the questions I get is when you have those full-fledged restaurant and bars type things, the RV parks where it gets a little bit more, I don't want to say difficult, but just more, there's other systems out there that are designed specifically for that was a lot of questions we got is if we integrated with, Toast or Square or something like that. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and I
nice to
think
have just a quick little point of sale system in your system.
that's where we run into it, and we've done a pretty good job because we have some bigger resorts on the eastern seaboard that have those full-fledged restaurants and bars. So we've really done a good job developing it. But at the end of the day, we're a property management
Mhm.
software. There are point of sales that do point of sale really well.
Yeah.
So it's just managing that, and how do we want to allocate our time.
Yeah. No, completely understandable. I know a big question I always got asked to was reporting analytics. Can they do customized reports? Can they, that was all. So how does your reporting system work?
Yeah, so we have a full reporting suite. So daily audit summaries, tax summaries, occupancy, heat map, forecasting. So we do have the full range of reporting. Um, Analytics, we are connected with Google. So if you have your Google Analytics, we can track click rates, conversions, things like that. That's super easy to set up. Again, that's built into the system. You just need your Google Analytics login, an account. We are going to be working on customized reports. Not there at the moment, but it is something that it's becoming more prevalent in the industry, being asked about, especially with the type of people coming in. You have your bigger private equity groups and your property management groups, and they're used to it on the other side of the hospitality, whether it's real estate or hotels or anything like that. So that's a functionality that the industry as a whole needs, and we've heard that, and we're working on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's all you can do, right? I know one of the big questions we had too, besides reporting, was SMS, and it looks like you guys have that, which is awesome.
Yep, two-way SMS, and that's built on pretty much pay as you go. So
Okay.
the actual functionality is built into the system, and then you buy bundles of text messages as you need them. So we have different packages, 250, 500, 1,000, and 25,000.
Yeah.
But you purchase those amount of text messages, and they roll over. As soon as you're out, you just purchase some more, and you're back to it. So
Cool.
what we've seen, and you're very familiar with this, every campground is going to operate differently. Some people just want to communicate solely via text message to their groups and their customers, where some, they don't use it that often. So ours works really well because it caters to both. So it's really, you pay for it as you go kind of a system.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Are you integrated with like any other third-party companies out there, such as Wild Energy, like how they have their system?
Yep. So we have the integration with Wild Energy,
Right.
Marine Sync. We do have direct integration with Spot Tonight.
Oh, nice.
I really like Spot Tonight because they have a wide distribution channel as well. So not only Spot Tonight, but then it goes through all of their partners as well.
Yep.
We are working on another integration that would open us up to the Airbnb, Expedia, VRBO, HipCamp, those bigger ones. And we're kind of working through that right now on getting a timeline. But, it's more of that industry feedback, and the more we hear about it, the more it's essential to our platform. Right now, all we really have is you can sync your iCal, which not the best solution. You can run into some problems that way, but we're working on a better integration that would open up all of those channels.
That's great. Yeah.
Other than that, we have the remote lock, iNext Tech, which can do license plate readings. Your QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, which is unique to the space. We can connect to your desktop as well. So we have a pretty robust integrations list right now, but we're constantly trying to build out that ecosystem. And like I said, it's kind of like the POS. Do we spend the time to develop it internally, or do we integrate with somebody that's already doing it really well?
Yeah.
And weighing the pros and cons, and then what's that going to take from our dev team? It's all just deciding the best course, but trying to bring those services to our customers that need it.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Yeah, man, it sounds good. It sounds like you guys got a lot of good stuff coming up down the pipeline. Doing some awesome work out there. So again, like I said, I think staff is important. You and all your staff are awesome. So any park owners out there, if you're looking for new software or thinking about switching, Staylist is a great product to look into. You can get a hold of Nick Gramstad. The quickest way I know right now, just because we're on this, is supplierspot.com. If you go there and just type in Staylist, it'll have his direct phone number, an email. I think it's going directly to you, unless it's going to
going right to me.
Yeah, so you can send them a direct message, check out the website. But again, the website is, go ahead and do a little plug on the website and your information as well.
Yeah, so go to Staylist.com. You can go ahead and see all of our features online. You can book a demo or request a demo. Any other information you need right from the website will come directly to our sales channel. Otherwise, go to Supplier Spot. Search for us on there. It's going to have my direct contact, my email, my phone number. You can shoot me a text if you want to, if that's the best way you want to. But other than that, we hit all the major trade shows as well. So just excited to get out there and start pushing Staylist. And like I said, we got a lot of really exciting things, and it's going to be some busy but exciting times for us. So
that's awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, thanks again for taking time out of your day, Nick. I really do appreciate it. It's always fun to talk to you. So again, you guys know how to get a hold of Nick. Go out there, check out Staylist. Thanks again for being on, Nick.
Thanks, Bobby. I really appreciate it. Congrats with everything you're doing. I think it's great work. And just thanks for having me on, man. It's always great chatting.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Supplier Spot Spotlight. Keep shining bright in the RV, park, and campground outdoor hospitality industry. Stay tuned for more illuminating conversations with industry experts. Until next time, enjoy the great outdoors.